Hey traders, Marcello here, founder of the Day Trading Academy. Today we're going to be talking about the second secret of becoming a professional trader. We're here in beautiful Miami, enjoying the view, starting the new year off right. I think that in the day trading industry, we're enamored obviously with the idea of being able to make a lot of money in little time and have our freedom to be able to travel around the world and do whatever we want, right? That's precisely the reason why I wanted to be able to day trade. But I also think that there's some fallacies in the industry that I believe that we need to understand as well. And the simple secret for the second one that I'm going to give you now, if you guys already watched the first one, is that it's not about the indicators or the system that you use. It's really about being able to understand what the market is doing. I think that most people nowadays aren't going to explain to you guys that the markets are heavily manipulated, not only by the hedge funds and brokerages like Goldman Sachs and everybody else. If you look at, for example, all the calls that the famous economists make and the TV shows and everybody makes, they're all usually dead wrong, right? So it's up to us to be able to understand what the market is doing, not only for learning how to day trade sake, but also even for our pension and retirement funds sake. Because honestly, I should say, with the current environment that we're in, with the interest rates and everything along those lines, most people are not giving us the standard of returns that we're supposed to be getting according to what we agreed to, right? So, and sorry if you guys can hear that jet going through here. I'm here near the airport in Miami. So the market right now is not only being manipulated by hedge funds and the people who normally control the markets, but it's also being controlled by, if you guys don't know what algorithms and HFTs are, or even governments as well, obviously the oil markets, gold and silver markets, all of this stuff is being manipulated. So if we're going to be able to make money and do it consistently every day, because you guys are watching this because you want to be able to make a living day trading, we have to understand what the market is doing, right? There is no holy grail system out there, guys. There's not some magic indicator that's going to give you a green light to show you when to get in and a red light when to get out, because if it was that easy to do it, the big $100 million and billion-dollar hedge funds would already be doing it, right? So that's the first thing that we have to understand. We are going to have to compete with things like robots and things like that, but it is still possible to be able to do that, especially in today's industry, because if we're able to understand what the market is doing, we can trade with the manipulation or with the professional traders rather than trading against them, which is the reason why obviously most of us, when we first start trading, lose money. The standard industry percentages of success, or the success rate I should say, is about 1 out of 10, okay? And it doesn't matter what system you're going to buy, it doesn't matter what indicators you're going to use, excuse me guys, it doesn't matter who you're going to follow, what guru is going to tell you what to buy or what to sell. At the end of the day, you guys are going to be the ones that are responsible for pulling that trigger, right? Pulling the mouse of when to get in and when to get out. So it's really, really important to be able to understand what the market is doing. So when you guys are out there, whether you're going to learn from me or somebody else or whatever the case may be, I want you guys to really understand that the most important thing when it comes to being able to learn how to day trade or even invest in the markets also is being able to understand what the market is doing and why. Why is it moving a certain way? Why is it doing this and that? Whether you're trading penny stocks, futures, forex, whatever the case may be. I do prefer to teach people on futures first, simply because it takes a lot less capital, and also it's a lot easier for me to be able to teach traders how to be able to understand what the market is doing. We, for example, use what's called tick charts. Tick charts are based on transactions, based on volume, rather than actually using minute charts. What this allows us to do, for example, it allows us to see every order that's in the market rather than just looking at time blocks like 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 30 minutes, right? And this what allows us to do is if we're basing it on volume, if there's a lot of volume in the market, for example, usually October is a market where the market goes nuts, we're able to take a lot more trades and make a lot more money. On the flip side of that, if we have a lot of low volume, for example, July, beginning of August normally, those are going to be situations where we have less opportunities to make money. And so since we base our analysis on time-based or volume-based charts, we're able to do better, or at least have more opportunities, because we can see the actual volume in every transaction that's taking place. That's one of the examples, for example, that we use to be able to trade the markets effectively. So I really think it's important for you guys to be able to understand this simple concept that it doesn't matter what strategy you use, what indicators. I think the majority of what happens to us, and if you're just getting started, I'm glad you're watching this video, the majority of what happens to us is we buy a system, we lose money when we first start using it, and then we go out and look for another system because that system was shit, right? And then the same thing happens with that system, and we go from one academy to one academy, one guru to another guru, because we think that we can find this magic system or this holy grail indicator-based strategy that we're going to be able to trade with. And at the end of the day, what all of this stuff is masking is the market, right? So if we're able to understand what the market is doing, we're not going to need a guru to tell us where to buy or sell. We're not going to have to pay a company for indicators or a system that we don't need to use. God knows what happens to a company tomorrow, where they go out of business or they just disappear to Africa or whatever the case may be, and we're stuck without the system we're supposed to use. So at the end of the day, when you're learning how to trade, you guys are going to be responsible for putting in these orders and making money for yourself, right? We have to take ownership of that. So the most important thing to be able to learn, and the secret really when it comes to being able to become a professional trader, is knowing that it's not about the system or the indicators that you use. It's really more about understanding what the market is doing to make sure that we react to the market, not to the quote-unquote systems or indicators that we're using. Another thing that you guys have to understand about day trading system or indicators is that they're always going to calculate information in the past, right? That's what indicators are, whether it's a moving average or I don't want to throw out all these statistical models for you guys that you won't understand, but at the end of the day, what they do is they calculate information off the price. That's it. So why are we going to base our decisions on the indicators, right, when they're going to be lagging, which means that they're showing us information in the past? It's more important to be able to pay attention to the price, because that's where the information is actually coming from, to be able to base our decisions. Now, one of the things that I do with all of our traders and the traders that I have tried to teach to be able to trade our money at this fund that we're trying to set up is being able to use indicators in the beginning as a tool to see the direction that the market is going in is a lot easier than reading the price right off the bat, because obviously it's a lot harder to know when to get in and when to get out if we don't have any direction. So what I use the indicators for is to be able to teach people first how to read the market and kind of give them let's say like a cane, right, to kind of give them or training wheels, I think is a better example, training wheels on a bicycle. And then after that, you take the training wheels off, and then guys can learn how to be able to trade without the indicators. And that truly is where we become proficient, what I call master traders, being able to trade on our own. One thing I would recommend you guys as well is find not necessarily a mentor, but a mastermind or a group of people that you can trade with. And I'm not talking about buddies that you want to trade with, but people that you can learn from, people that can help you in the process. At the end of the day, you guys don't have to spend $10,000 to be able to learn how to trade. You guys can do it on your own. I want to be 100% transparent about that. But I think that with the crisis that's coming and the kind of activity that we're going to be seeing over the next few years, the only thing that you guys have to balance out in terms of thinking if you're going to invest in education or not is the amount of time, right? If you're going to do it for free and learn things online, you can do it that way if you want, but obviously it may take you more time because you don't have direction. And if you're looking for a coach, Just make sure that you're going to learn how to read the markets properly if you're going to understand the markets, rather than just learning indicators or using a quote-unquote system to be able to trade with. That at the end of the day you won't be able to not use the system to trade because they want to upsell you in some other program, right? So I hope this was clear for you guys. Let me know if you guys have any questions. At the end of the day, I've been able to live my dreams through day trading. That's where my career started. I now do a lot more than just day trading. I plan to share with you guys as well in the future. So let me know if you guys have any questions. I'll leave you here with the beautiful view, and we'll talk to you soon. Ciao.